Michael Jackson and his family, the untold story of a musical dynasty. It all began in a small house in Gary, Indiana, a quiet industrial town in the American Midwest. In this modest home lived the Jackson family, Joseph and Catherine Jackson, and their growing group of talented children. No one could have imagined that from this humble place would emerge one of the greatest music dynasties the world has ever seen. Joseph, a steel mill worker, was a strict father with big dreams. He recognized early that his children had a unique gift for music. Night after night, he would gather them in the small living room, turning it into a rehearsal space. The sound of guitars, tambourines, and young voices filled the air. Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and the youngest, Michael, practiced endlessly, their father pushing them to be perfect. Michael, even as a child, stood out. He had a natural charisma, a spark that couldn't be taught. At just 5 years old, he could mimic James Brown's dance moves, hitting every note with confidence that stunned everyone. Catherine, a loving and gentle mother, supported the children behind the scenes, sewing costumes and keeping the family grounded in faith. By the late 1960s, the Jackson Five had become local sensations. They won talent shows, performed at clubs, and amazed anyone who saw them. Their big break came when they auditioned for Motown Records, the legendary label in Detroit. Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown, was immediately captivated. He saw in them not just talent, but magic. Soon, the Jackson Five released their first singles, and hits like I Want You Back, ABC, and I'll Be There rocketed up the charts. Michael's voice led the group with an energy that felt beyond his years. Audiences around the world fell in love with the boy who could sing, dance, and light up any stage. But behind the spotlight, life for the Jackson family wasn't always easy. Joseph's discipline was intense. He demanded perfection, sometimes with harsh methods that would leave lasting emotional scars. Yet it was this strict training that shaped the group's legendary precision. Every step, every harmony, every performance was flawless, because it had to be. As the 1970s progressed, Michael began to grow into his own identity. While he loved performing with his brothers, he had dreams that stretched beyond the group. He wanted to explore new sounds, to dance in his own style, to tell stories through music. By the late 1970s, he began working on solo projects, marking the beginning of his transformation from a child star to the king of pop. Albums like Off the Wall and later Thriller turned Michael into a global icon. His brothers continued performing, now as the Jacksons, but Michael's star shone brighter than ever. Still, family remained a constant presence in his life. His siblings often joined him on tours, and their shared childhood experiences created a deep bond that fame could never fully erase. Michael's relationship with his family was complex. He admired his mother deeply, often calling her his life support. With his father, things were more complicated. Joseph had pushed him to greatness, but also caused pain. In interviews, Michael would speak openly about the challenges of his childhood. Yet he also expressed gratitude for the discipline that shaped his career. The Jackson family wasn't just a group of siblings, they were a phenomenon. Janet Jackson rose to fame in the 1980s with her own groundbreaking music, becoming a superstar in her own right. LaToya and Rebby also pursued music, while the brothers continued touring and recording. Each sibling carved out their unique path, but the Jackson name remained synonymous with talent, innovation, and showmanship. Today, the Jackson family legacy lives on, through their music, their performances, and their impact on pop culture. Michael's children, Prince, Paris, and Blanket, continue to honor their father's memory in their own ways. His siblings still celebrate his life, sharing stories that remind the world of the boy from Gary, Indiana, who changed music forever. The story of Michael Jackson and his family is more than just a tale of fame. It's about dreams, discipline, love, pain, and the unbreakable ties of family. It's a story that reminds us that behind every superstar, there's a family that shaped the journey, for better and for worse.